Good evening, friends. How are you today? Hope you're enjoying your online classes. You're really having a wonderful time. It's the greatest experience in a whole lifetime. Taking your own time and learning your lessons well. Let's come back to our lessons. In the previous class, we were talking about women empowerment. Christine Lagarde, in her speech, 3 L's of Empowerment, was talking about how we can enlighten women or empower women. So she is using the persuasive techniques there. So this can be called a persuasive speech. How does she persuade the audience? She is ending the speech, dare the difference, and difference will deliver. Here we have the examples of 2 persuasive speeches in history. One was a speech by Martin Luther King Jr. and the other one is a speech by Antony in the famous play by Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. So let's go through the speeches.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. Grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious, when that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept? Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Look at how Shakespeare opens the speech of Antony in Julius Caesar. It goes like this. Friends, Romans, countrymen, I've come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. With that words, he's getting the permission to speak for the funeral of Julius Caesar. But by the end, he takes the mob against them. How? With the techniques like repetition, citing examples, and his special tone and intonation. He is using the words ambitious and honorable many times throughout the speech. He repeats the statement, Caesar was ambitious and Brutus is an honorable man. The repetition tone, intonation, opening sentence, examples, facts and figures, everything enhance the intention of the persuasive speaker. So there are many persuasive techniques. The purpose of the speech should be very clear. You should understand the type of audience you are addressing. The structure should be logical, clear, and the sequencing of ideas should be perfect. Now look at the speech by Martin Luther King Jr. He is not greeting the audience directly. He is opening the speech in a different manner. Look at this.
I'm happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 5 score years ago, the great American, in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of vast ocean of material prosperity.
Martin Luther King was able to convince the slaves of America the real meaning of freedom. Hope you have enjoyed the lessons and you are very confident about preparing a persuasive speech. That doesn't end. Now you are very free at home, so practice yourself and try to present a persuasive speech. When you are back to school, please present your speeches in front of the class. It would be a great idea. So you can act in front of the mirror and practice a persuasive speech written by yourself. Prepare a speech to be delivered at your school on International Women's Day. So watch my channel for next lessons and stay tuned. If you have not subscribed my channel, share, subscribe and like my channel for more videos like this.